What is up, TikTok land? We are back with the brand new edition. My name is Jen. I'm your manifestation bestie, where I teach you how to leverage the law of assumption to work in your favor. I already know that sounds goody, so click that follow button, subscribe button, wherever you're watching from. Also, if you're interested in having me manifest for you, or you want one-on-one coaching with me to figure out where you're going wrong so you can get it right, finally, all links are in my bio. Hey, Bella girlfriend. Excuse me. I also have a WhatsApp group that you're welcome to join so you can get inspired by all the success stories, plus get some coaching while you're in there too. Also, if you want to release your negative emotions stemming all the way back from when you first experienced them, so you know you don't have things getting in your fucking way. What up, Lisa girlfriend? Then again, all links are in my bio or description, wherever you're watching from. I have guided meditations, hypnosis ideas, all the things that you can desire to try and help your ass out. What up, Martha? Okay, so let's talk about a couple things. First and foremost, I love you all. Hey, Haley girlfriend. And I need you all to seriously let go of the resistance. Okay? You really need to let go of the resistance. When you let go of the resistance and you are just coming from a place of knowing. Amen to you, Ressa, because I cannot do the sauna. I feel like I'm dying of suffocation in a sauna. Hey, Patriot Vibes, bestie. Okay, best delicious. I like that. What's up, Shanzi? Okay, so when it comes to, like, you don't need to let go of the desire. That's fucking stupid, right? But you need to let go of the resistance level. The resistance level where you just need to know. Just know the outcome, right? What do you have to lose at this point? Honestly, what do you have to lose at this point? Because you're expecting one thing or another. But so you need to start knowing the outcome so that you can, I don't even have my light on. Hold on a second. Hold, please. Not like it's the brightest light in the fucking history of lights, but it works. So, oh, I love that for you. I am loving that for you, Taylor, because funny enough, I wanted a pizza today. I think I'm going to get pizza today. Hey, Mariah. Jen, whoa. Jen, I just made it official with my SP. Snaps for Ara. I'm so excited for you, Ara. Now you're going to break pattern, okay? You're going to break the patterns that come up as they arise. Because you guys do know, here's what I need you guys to realize for those of you that are in no contact, because I know you guys hate the no contact. But then you question every fucking thing under the sun and then wonder why they don't reach out to you. Okay, but here's what I need you guys to understand when it comes to no contact. Whoa, hold on. Flashy, his daughter accidentally called me and wants me to take my step grandkids. Oh, well, that's very marriage-like, isn't it? I love how you put accidentally in quotes, because totally accidentally. That's very marriage-like. Things are moving in the right direction, clearly. I mean, why wouldn't she call you? Hey, Casey, Bessie. Okay, so what you guys have to realize is this, okay, is you guys have to realize, thanks, girlfriend. This is a shirt I bought that for $5 years ago when I was overweight. Now it's a dress. So, but here's what you have to realize in no contact is leading up. What has to happen for someone to lead up to breaking no contact? Okay, is they don't just wake up one day and are like, I think I'll message her today. That's not how that works. Okay, that's not how that works. There's a process involved that you guys don't understand or don't see because this is going on behind the scenes, which is why I tell you guys to not worry about shit. And so you guys don't, hey Nadine girlfriend, you don't realize that they have to think about you to contact you. Now, I don't mean a momentary glimpse of just thought about them, let me contact them. No, they're thinking about you often, okay? Which is what leads to them contacting you, okay? Because you're on their mind. They're thinking about you a lot. They're looking at your social media, right? They're doing all these things and you are top of mind. Therefore, they contact you. So stop thinking that they're not thinking about you. Stop thinking that they've just moved on, that contact is a hard thing. No, they're thinking about you, which is why when we do affirmations for people who are in no contact, right? It's always what leads to contact. They're obsessed with me. I'm all they ever think about. They're always calling and texting me. That's what breaks no contact, is because they're obsessed with you. They're thinking about you often, so therefore they contact you. So get a grip. Stop thinking that they're not thinking about you. Stop thinking that, because they're thinking about you right now. For very, very many of you, they are thinking about you often, which is going to lead to them contacting you. Hey, date bestie. Okay, so you have to remember that. You have to tell yourself that. You have to revalidate yourself and know, like, why would they not want me? Who the fuck wouldn't want me? Having that attitude about it, right? Because it's like, they're thinking about me all the time. Yeah, they do. And that's why they contact you. So understand that and don't get your panties in a bunch. Okay. Stop whining, moaning, groaning, and all that shit. So what? And then if you make a mistake and you force a 3D, oh well, so what? Move on. Move on. You don't need to dwell on it. You don't need to sit there and freaking, absolutely, Lisa. Why wouldn't he, girl? You don't need to dwell on things. Okay. You don't need to sit there and, replay over and over again how you screwed up because you forced a 3D, and obviously it backfires. That's the given. You just need to move on. Pick yourself up, dust your shoulders off, and be like, okay, I'm going to move forward now. Like an adult. I'm going to pick myself up. I screwed up. That's fine. He's over it, and I'm going to move on. He's over it when you're over it. You understand that. As long as you're not over it, well, neither is he. So get over it. Get over it. Go have a shot. I don't care. Drink a glass of wine. I don't give a shit. Do something to help yourself stop thinking about it and get over it. And no, I'm not condoning drinking. Okay, but do something. Go hit the ganja. I don't give a fuck. Do something that's going to distract you, that's going to put you in a relaxed state, that's going to benefit you, because this stuff doesn't benefit you guys. It doesn't benefit you by dwelling on the shit all fucking day long and replaying old conversations that they said, or looking at texts that were rude or whatever. Move on. Know you're the prize. I'm the prize. Why wouldn't they contact me? Why wouldn't they want to be with me? Why wouldn't they want to see me? Why wouldn't they want to do all these things? And then turn it around in your mind. Like, I don't care if they're coming to pick up their fucking mail. Of course, look at them trying to get my attention. Yeah, why wouldn't he want to come see me? Now he's got to come up with some kind of reason to come see me. Even if it's to come pick up a shit. Obviously, you need to come some kind of reason to come see me. So, see you soon, honey bunny. And move forward. Move forward. Who cares what's going on? Look at that. He liked her stories after she tried thought transmission for the first time. That's right, Sarah, because thought transmission is real. It's very real. So what are you thinking about all day long? That's right, Jacques. I got all the colors today. Hey, Angela, girlfriend. So it's like, if thought transmission is real, and we know that, what the hell are you thinking about all day? It should be the positive things, that they want to see you, that they want to come spend time with you. Stop shitting all over yourself and self-loathing over and over and over again. I am glowing today. Thanks, Brandy. Thanks. Must be the colors. Look at that. Sarah told him to like her stories in her head. And she's shocked because he did. That's right. So what are you going to do now, Sarah? How are you going to harness this power? And be like, okay, well, what else do I want? What else do I want him to do? Right? Let's see here. Somebody asked a question. I get on tangents. Sorry. Why does my negative thoughts manifest and not the positive? Bro, that is because that's what you're thinking about all the time. Okay, and really the reason why negative thoughts manifest quickly is because you're not dwelling on the shit. You're not dwelling on it. You'll have like a negative thought pop up, but you're not flipping it, so therefore it manifests. Okay, because you can't just affirm over it. You have to flip the thought. So therefore that thought doesn't manifest. The new one that you just replaced did. Okay, and if you have to tell yourself this, tell yourself cancel, cancel. And then what is it that you want instead? Like delete that thought. And then what is it that and then flip it. Okay. If that helps you, because that's the stuff that a lot of times you've only thought about it one time. That's why I don't like people that say you don't have to flip the thoughts. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Because the people that say that don't know what they're talking about. Because from a logical perspective, let's talk logic. Okay, from a logical perspective in manifestation, if your thoughts manifest, then you have positive and negative thoughts, the law of opposites, right? So if your thoughts manifest, which is what they tell you this, but then they're like, you don't need to flip the negative thought. Okay, but if my thoughts manifest, that would be the positive and the negative. So why would I not flip the negative thought? That doesn't make any fucking sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, which is what a lot of people say. I used to think you had to flip the thought, but you don't. Yes, you fucking do. Yes, you do. And so that's why, and then the positive ones, you're most likely trying too hard. Okay, you're trying too hard. Because the problem is you guys want something, but you're not seeing yourself as the person that would have that thing. Okay, so it's like you want SP to contact you, but you're not seeing yourself as the bad bitch that he would contact. Okay, you're not seeing yourself in that light. So you can say it till you're blue in the face, but this is where the self-love comes in. This is where you go back to the original version of you in this relationship. Who were you before you entered this relationship? Because that's what caused them to pursue you. So when you do that and you get that confidence level back up, right? That self-worth level back up and all of these things, that strong attitude that you had, like you weren't trying. You didn't have to try. And that's why you go back to the version of your SP, but you have to now go back to the version of yourself. The one that they wanted to talk to all the time. The one that they constantly wanted to spend time with. The one that they wanted to be with. At some point, you lost yourself. You became somebody different, which is what ended the relationship too, right? It goes both directions. So you selected the version of your SP that you don't want, but you also have changed. You've also changed. You're not the same person. Don't take my word for it. Just look at your relationship and say, yeah, he was not the same person at the end of our relationship that he was in the beginning of our relationship. And if you're being 100% honest with yourself, then you would also take a look at yourself at the end of this relationship and say, I wasn't either. Yeah, I wasn't either. I didn't doubt, question anything. I was too busy living my best fucking life. I was too busy living life. And then my SP entered my life. And I enjoyed that. But I didn't need it. I wasn't trying to have him text me every day. Were you? I wasn't trying to have him come see me. I didn't have to try any of that shit. Because I just knew. I was that person. I wasn't questioning the relationship. You only started questioning the relationship towards the end, which is why it went downhill. Okay? You started bitching about him, and then towards the end, you started questioning your relationship, and then it confirmed. But you weren't doing that in the beginning. You weren't questioning if he cared about you. You weren't questioning his feelings towards you. You weren't questioning none of that shit. So if you weren't questioning any of that in the beginning of your relationship, why are you doing it now? That's why you're getting questionable results. That's why you're not getting the results that you want, because you're not the same person. You're questioning every fucking thing now. But you never did that before. Ever. If you look at the beginning of your relationship, you never did that. Ever. You weren't like, does he like me? I'm not sure. Does he like me? I don't know. Is he going to call me today? You didn't do none of that shit. Therefore, you got everything that you wanted. Everything worked out well because that was how you were. Now you question everything. Now you're like, he's not going to text me unless I affirm my life away. Or you can go back to the version of yourself that was magnetic and then tell him to text you and he will, because you're a different person. You're back to your old self, the one they were attracted to. It goes both directions. We want them to be obsessed with us, be attracted to us, and be the person that we want them to be. But we also need to be the person that we want to be. The one that they love, the one that they care about, the one that they miss. They don't miss stalker obsessive behavior. They don't miss the drama. They don't miss being interrogated on everything or questioned on everything. They don't miss the fighting, the arguing. They don't miss that shit. Whoever misses that crap, whoever misses any of that crap, you don't. What they miss is the happy times you spent together, the drama-free, how you enjoyed each other's company all the time, how you were just so sweet, loving, and just everything they ever wanted. How you were their perfect person too. That's what they miss. They miss the good memories. They certainly aren't missing the bad shit. So you have to prove that to them by proving it to yourself, by being that person for you. Because then they will see that in you. When you're not coming from desperate ass energy. Like I really, that's why the resistance is so high. That's why they're not conforming. Because you're coming so much from a place of, I need this to work. I need him. And you question every fucking thing. But you weren't doing that before. You weren't. You were in the feel good vibes. Okay? So you need to go back to that shit. And you need to do it now. Because they're not missing all the bullshit. But you keep bitching in your mind. And then you keep reacting. If they come back around, it's like you want them to come back in contact with you just so you can show them how much nothing has changed and you're the same person that they broke up with. Like, I just want to prove to him that I'm the same bitch they left. Yeah, that's my objective. I want him to contact me just so I can show him why we're not together. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense? No. Because you know that that's not your motive, but you can't help yourself by reacting to fucking everything, by being confrontational, by arguing, fighting, getting all in your fucking head and verbalizing every fucking thing to them. That's what you do. And then you're like, oh, they're not talking to me again. Duh. Because all you've done is remind them why they didn't want to talk to you. Why they didn't want to see you, why they didn't want to be with you. That's all you're doing is reminding them of that version of you, the one that they left. When you should be reminding them of everything that they're fucking missing. You should be reminding them of why they chose you, of why they want to be with you. That's what you should be reminding them. And no, I don't mean grovel at their fucking feet. That's not what I mean. And I don't mean be so submissive and I don't mean any of that. I don't mean any of that. I mean, be genuine. The person that you were before. Unless you are just some fake phony bitch and were completely trying to love bomb them in the beginning when you were low-key a hidden psychopath. I don't think that's you. So you need to go back to that version of yourself. The one that didn't stress the small shit. The one that wasn't insecure. The one that had confidence. The one that was trusting. That was happy. That would do little things for them. That made you the perfect girlfriend. Go back to that. Because your relationships, you always start that way. Why? Because you were single. And at some point you moved on from your exes. And so you were single and worked on yourself. Therefore, another SP entered the picture. Okay, the ones that have been working on this for a while, and when I mean a while, I don't mean like years, okay? I mean like a couple months. that have finally broken no contact. Do you know the growing trend? They started looking internally. And getting that version of themselves back. Then boom, no contact broken. Yeah. And transmit those thoughts, bitches. And transmit those thoughts. Yeah, thanks, Bevy. Keep me on track because I go off on tangents. I feel like I have to teach in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Okay, let me go through and answer some questions. Okay. We broke up and I can't stop thinking about him. I want to be again with him. Yeah, Milika, you can. You can be with whoever you want. I don't care if you guys broke up 15 times. It doesn't matter. It's time for 16. Well, 16th time you're together. But no, if you can't, that thought transmission is real, right? So if you can't stop thinking about them, do you know what that also means? That they're thinking about you. That's how that works. Right? Because if you're thinking about them and thought transmission is real, so you obviously have them on your mind. So what do you think's on their mind? You. Because you control their thoughts when it comes to you. So if you're thinking about them, they're absolutely thinking about you. And that's all you have to know. To harness your power. Okay? And say, okay, so I know that if I'm thinking about him, he's thinking about me. That's a fact. So, okay, so I want to be with him again. So then what do I need to start thinking? That he wants to be with me. Not that you want to be with him, but he absolutely wants to be with me. Why would he? Okay, when you start thinking that he wants to be with you instead of you wanting to be with him, well, then that's what he's going to think, is that he wants to be with you, right? Versus if you're thinking you want to be with him, well, then guess what he's thinking? That you're obsessed with him, that you want to be with him so bad. That's desperate energy that you're putting out there versus, no, he wants to be with me and only me. He can't stand to be away from me. In fact, I'm all he ever thinks about. He cannot even sleep because he can't stop thinking about me. And if he does, I'm 100% in his dreams. He's completely miserable every day we're not together. Completely miserable. He is not happy when we're apart. He's missing me right now. He misses me every second of the day. He cannot stop thinking about how perfect of a relationship we have. Whatever you want to tell yourself. These are inner conversations. And it gets pushed out. So that's what you guys have to remember. Bella, you don't have to stay positive necessarily when going through a heartbreak, because that's unrealistic advice, right? It's like, this is where law of attraction people fuck you up. They'll be like, just stay high vibe. You have to be high vibe all the time. Who the hell is high vibe about their breakup? I'm not. You're not. So how the fuck am I supposed to be high vibe when I miss somebody? When my heart hurts? So don't worry about staying positive. Don't worry about feeling positive. However, you have to look at it this way, is what's the opposite of positive? Negative. Okay, so if I'm going through a heartbreak, how do I stay positive? Either way, you're staying in one state or the other. Okay, so if you're going to stay in the negative state, guess what you're going to get more of? The negative. You don't feel good. You don't feel good. When you're going through the heartbreak and you're going through these emotions and you're so negative and sad that you don't feel good about it. You don't. Plus, you get all up in your thoughts about it and you're keeping it right in place. So then it's like, okay, I don't want this. I want him back. I want my SP back. So then what's the alternative? Because I'm not going to get him back if I'm self-loathing in my own pity party and being a victim in my reality. I'm not going to get him back that way. I'm going to get him back by pushing forward and saying, okay, I want this person. So I'm going to think the thoughts that align with us getting back together. instead of them not being there, them breaking your heart, them making you sad, them not wanting to be with you. That doesn't help you. That doesn't help you at all. Because if you're thinking that way, then that's exactly what's going to stay pushed out. Nothing's going to change. Versus internalizing and saying, no, breaking up with me is his biggest regret in life. That's his only regret, is leaving me. And because he's so regretful of leaving me, he can't wait to come back. He has to be back together with me now, because that's his biggest regret in his entire life. He's completely miserable every second we're not together. And he will be. You'll be able to tell, they're your SP more than anybody. So when you come back in contact, you'll hear a tonality change in him where he's not the bubbly self. He's not, his vibe will seem off. Yeah, because he's not happy without you. Duh. Oh, yes, Flashy. It is easier to lock in because you're getting some massive movement. Now you get to see your little grandbabies. How can I overcome being inferior to my very successful SP as our lifestyle status are opposite? Well, Sheila, oftentimes that is the case. So you have to look at it that way. More times out of not, in any relationship you're in at all, I don't even care if they're not successful. In any relationship that you're in at all, somebody is the breadwinner. Somebody's the breadwinner. Unless both of you work at fucking Taco Bell as cashiers, somebody's making more money than the other person. Like, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. And so whether he's very successful or not, it's going to be the same. But you don't have to look at it like inferior, because you have to look at it like there's a lot of people who love to have nice things, but are very content with having a normal life. They like nice things, yeah, but they're content with having a normal life. When I've always had houses, and when I moved into an apartment for the first time, I was probably the only person in the world excited as fuck to live in an apartment. I was so excited because I was like, it's not going to take me 5 minutes to walk to my damn fridge. Plus, who needs to mow the lawn? That's what people are for. Now they get to mow the lawn. I don't have to worry about none of that shit. And if something breaks, you should have seen me. I was throwing like whatever. I didn't have it's like no trash can existed. Everything went in the garbage disposal. And my boyfriend was like, you're not supposed to put that in there, right? I'm like, well, so it breaks. And that's not my problem. That gets fixed and I don't have to pay shit, right? So I was like super excited about it. But it didn't mean anything. It didn't, for me, I enjoyed that lifestyle for a period of time. So you don't need to feel inferior because he's more successful. Instead, you should turn it into the opposite and feel extreme flattery. Extreme flattery, because most successful people are with very unsuccessful people. Where I live, most successful people, their wife is a fucking housewife. Doesn't work. Hasn't worked at all, right? There's these moms would drive me nuts when my daughter was younger. They'd be like, you want to go we're going to start walking at like 9 a.m. every day. You want to go? And I was like, oh yeah, because who's paying my bills? Because none of them had a job. None of them. None of my daughter's friends' moms worked at all. But they were not feeling inferior. It was more like yeah, that's right. That's right. I have a nicer lifestyle and I ain't got to do shit for it. Don't be a hater, bitch. Go get yourself someone successful like I got. That should toot your ego. That should inflate your ego. Because the man could have anybody, but chose you. So do you think he gave a shit? Unless you were super successful and went right into the poorhouse during your relationship, do you think, and that's what you have to remind yourself, do you think your SP gave two shits about your lifestyle and status quo? No. He didn't. It's not like you were on a dating website like, I'm a multimillionaire and I live in a mansion. And then when you went on a date, you're like, just kidding, bitch. No, he knew exactly what you did and didn't have. And he didn't care about any of that because he cared about you. He loves you. And you have to remember that only. Obviously, none of this shit mattered. So it doesn't matter now. He loves me for me. And there's no greater love than that, because if the roles were reversed, a lot of times we think, what's their motive to be with me? Because I'm the one that has the money. I'm the one that's successful. I'm the breadwinner, right? So they're used to dealing with people who want something from them, who are with them for the lifestyle adjustment, who are with them for that increase in status. So when you're not, that's highly attractive to him, because the more successful you are, the more money you have, the more people like to come out the woodworks, and the hotter you get to people. And so they don't know, they're very used to people taking advantage of them. And so this to them is highly attractive. So I would hold on to that shit, bitch. Now I'm trying to make him contact me after 3 months. Okay, Sarah. So if you can get some guy to like your pictures, I want you to remember this. If you can get him to like your stories because you told him that, then you need to do this exact same thing you just did, thought transmission, and get him to contact you. Okay. But the way you'll lower that resistance level is by remembering that he just liked your stories because you told him to. So it's like, okay, yeah, he literally just liked my stories because I told him to. So the same way he did that, that means he's thinking about me clearly. So now he's going to contact me. Yeah, he's absolutely going to. But you have to know he's going to contact you. You have to expect him to contact you, and he will when you do the thought transmission. He will contact you. Yeah. Oh, well, yes, Ressa. Why wouldn't he send you flowers to your art gallery tonight? Huh? Isn't it like standard? Send somebody flowers to their art gallery? Yeah, I think so. I got my SP to text me multiple times in a row and flirt in his way, and he viewed my Insta story. Good, Lindsay. Good. Now keep going. Brittany. I got another job offer. Does this have to do with my manifestation? It could. It very much could. It very much could. Because things have to unfold naturally, right? Things have to unfold naturally. And so if somebody is not into, if somebody's not into dating in the workplace, right? Because sometimes that crosses boundaries. Then that very much could be why you got another job offer. So that you and SP, I'm not saying take it, but so you and SP can be together. Yeah. Or tell him you got another job offer for double your fucking salary. And if he wants you to stay, he needs to match that shit. But you can mention it to him and see how he responds. Read his face. I told myself as a little test while I was walking to the supermarket, someone's going to wear a red shirt. I kid you not. The moment I lift my head up, 1 second later, I saw a woman with a red shirt. I'm telling you, Aspa. So it's the same thing. These type of things are what makes manifesting fun, because what you're supposed to do when things like this happen is harness that and be like, okay, so things can happen instantly. Things can literally happen instantly that are positive, but only because you don't have resistance to any of that shit. You know, you don't have resistance to any of that. So we need to take that same not resistance, that same I don't give a shit attitude, and pop that into SP. Because the only way you're going to lower the resistance to you and your SP is if you have a I don't give a shit attitude. I don't care one way or another. Okay, so when you have that, like, I know we're getting back together, so I really don't need to stress about it. I'll control my thoughts, yes. But I don't really need to stress about it because I know that this is a thing and this is going to happen. And so I don't really care one way or another about what I'm affirming. Boom, 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 boom. Because there's no resistance there anymore. Because you don't really give a shit. You're like, I know he's going to text me, so I don't really need to worry about it. Then he will. But you'll know when you're like that if you're not checking your phone every 5 fucking seconds. Like, where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? That's resistance. That's proving to yourself that you have resistance to your manifestation. Okay, if you're checking, then you're like, okay, well, obviously there's resistance there. I need to stop that shit. And the only way I'm going to stop that is by by affirming, but having a nonchalant attitude about it. And I know to some of you, well, probably to a lot of you, that could sound easier said than done. But it's not easier said than done. It's something that's practiced. It's something that, try this for yourself, right? Try this for yourself is just try not caring. Affirm, right? You can affirm. Affirm for the next 24 hours. I don't mean affirm for 24 hours, okay? I mean for the next 24 hours, do what you're doing, but don't give a shit. Just don't care. Don't check your phone. Don't do any of that. Go about your life and just work on the knowing. Just work on the knowing. That should be your number one priority. All of you guys, all of your number one priorities, other than working on yourself, your number one priority should be to focus on the knowing, to just not give a shit. I know this is going to happen. So and it should be to drop that resistance. And the only way you're going to drop the resistance is if you just have a casual ass attitude about it, Like, I know we're getting back together. So there's that. So I'm going to continue to affirm, but I'm not going to stress. I'm not going to check the 3D. I'm not going to stress about it because for what? Because it's not fair to you. It's not fair really to you to put pressure on yourself, because that's what you're doing. You're putting pressure on yourself and it's increasing that resistance. But if you stopped doing that, the resistance drops, they conform. Because you're not suffocating it. You're not trying. You're just like, I know he's going to contact me, so I'll affirm for contact, but I don't need to check for shit. Because really, honestly, you feel kind of, okay, so there's certain things that you'll question in your relationship, or behind the scenes, but then you feel really fucking stupid. You feel really dumb because when it's confirmed the opposite of what you were thinking, but this created the wedge between you and SP, you feel stupid as fuck because you stressed about something that was not a thing. You didn't take their word for it. And you have to start taking your SP's word for things. You have to, because you sound really dumb. Because this has happened to me. This happened to me where I didn't take his word for it. Or I wanted to take his word for it, but I questioned it and continued to question it, got in my own fucking thoughts. And then boom, separation. Yeah, I turned it around, but it didn't matter. And then it's separation. Now you look and now you get confirmation that you were in your fucking thoughts about what? About nothing. And now you look stupid now you feel bad because you destroyed your relationship over fucking thoughts that you had that were not even true. Creating false assumptions in your mind that weren't even true. All because you expected the worst from your SP, not the best. You didn't take him, because if you expected the best, you would take your SP at their word. But you didn't. And then you ruin it just to find out after that it was all one big misunderstanding. And now you have to fucking fix it. Why do that shit to yourself? Okay, period. You're manifesting him. It's day 6. And my best friend heard his friend saying, you think she's friendly. And he was like, she's really cute. I mean, she's nice. That's a sign, right? Yes, it is a sign, period. However, what you're going to stop doing, what up, NYC girlfriend? What you're going to stop doing is counting days. Okay, the fact that you know it's day 6 means you're counting days. So if you wanted to speed up, stop focusing on the time. Stop focusing on the time. And just be like, no, I don't care. I don't care how many days it is. Like, that's where I can't tell you. I can tell you how long it took for me and my SP to go from contact to living together, right? In case you're new here, me and my SP, I manifested my SP back from no contact to living with me in 4 weeks. But the only way I can do that is because I can track conversation, okay? But I cannot tell you how many days it took for me to get movement when I was affirming. That I couldn't tell you. Why? Because I was not focused on the days at all. I wasn't like, it's day 1. Okay, now where the fuck is that at? It's day 2. Where the fuck is it at? I didn't do any of that. I just did it. Did it. I have no idea when no contact was broken. I have no idea. Or I mean, yeah, I have no idea. From the time I actually stopped with law of attraction shit and did what I did, I had no idea how much time went by. So don't count down the time. But it's definitely a good sign. 1,000%. Everything's a sign. Everything's a sign. Hey, Sarah Anna. Okay, bro, it feels like a nightmare because you're living in a nightmare. It only feels like a nightmare because it isn't what you wanted. So you can choose to live in the nightmare, or you can choose to create your happily ever after. Either way it goes, you're doing one or the other. You're living in one state or another. You're always living in a state. So, like, if you're struggling financially, then you're living in a lack state, broke state. You need to be living in have a lot of money state, okay, rich state. If you're focused on the negative, then you're in a negative state. You need to be in a positive state. If you're focused on heartbreak, instead of focusing on heartbreak, you need to focus on love. You know, these are all states, and you need to shift your state. You need to shift your state. Megan, if you're on here, can we talk tomorrow instead of today? I can see your messages come across. What's the craziest circumstance that ended once you manifest your SP back? What's the craziest circumstance that ended once I manifested my SP back? There's a lot, but there was a lot. I had a lot of circumstances. But his living situation, I would definitely say that. His living situation ended when we got back together. And that was relieving most importantly for him, right? It was very unhealthy, very toxic. And so that was very fresh for him, or very relieving for him, you know? And so I would say that was probably the biggest, craziest circumstance, Daisy, only because of how it went down. Which I don't talk about on here, Daisy. So if you wanted to know, I don't tell my old story on here anymore. But if you want to know my story, you can go to my YouTube channel and scroll right past the TikTok live replays. Just scroll right past them, and you'll see there's like a 35 to 40 minute video. And I'm pretty sure it's called How I Manifested My SP Back. I should just fucking change the title to that if it's not that. And you'll see my story there. Because I dish all the tea in that story. I'm pretty sure all the tea. Patriot Vibes, you may not have questioned your marriage. You were not blindsided though. Not at all. Okay, because at some point you can see a marriage turning. Okay, very, very rare do you not see a marriage turning at all. And it could have been, this is what people don't understand. It could have been a one-time thought. where you may not have questioned your marriage, but you questioned her feelings for you. You questioned if she wanted to still be in this marriage. You questioned things like that at some point. And again, it could have only been one time. One time. I was on the phone yesterday with somebody who had a very brief moment. Everything was going great. A very brief like she had no contact broken, everything, right? Because you guys don't need to accept what they fucking say, right? He said, I need 2 weeks to figure things out. And we jumped on a call and I said, 2 weeks? I was like, stop saying 2 weeks. I was like, no, don't acknowledge the 2 weeks. And sure enough, no contact was broken well before the 2 weeks. Okay, no contact was broken before the 2 weeks. And everything seemed to be going really, really well. She had one momentary thought. Within an hour, maybe at most, everything changed. Everything changed. Everything changed. Which led to multiple thoughts, right? I told her I would ask you on here. I told her I would ask you guys on here. Because I told her, I said that this whole thing, it had to have been one triggered thought. And we found out when this happened, but literally it pushed out within an hour. It was so quick to what could have been a beautiful reconciliation, getting back together, turned into it's over in a blink of a second. That's how fast. That's how fast. Because she sent me all the text messages. I said, there's something wrong here because the text messages were not alluding to any kind of breakup at all, right? It was alluding to total reconciliation. She's like, that's what I thought. And then boom, breakup. And I'm telling you, it was like within an hour. Okay. So I told her I would ask you guys this because I told her, I said, you could have turned this around because what he did was indicative of your inconsistent thoughts, of you having thoughts, of you reading into things, because this is what we do. We read into things, right? You go and give somebody a hug and then you're questioning the validity of their hug. Like, well, it was a little cold. It wasn't very romantic, right? Things like that. And so I said, but he kept asking her, well, tell me how you feel. Tell me how you're feeling. Like I said, because he was literally looking for, because he did not know why he was doing this, why he was breaking up with you, because that wasn't his initial intention. So he kept asking you, tell me how you feel about this. Tell me how you feel, because he didn't know why he was doing this, but wanted you to confirm the opposite, to validate the opposite. And so she asked what I would have done. I told her, I said, but here's the kicker. Now I want you guys to drop a comment. Let me know if your breakup ever went like this. After he ended the relationship, he says, so he wanted her to tell how she felt. She was in her feelings like any normal person would have been. But then he wanted to go out to dinner. He was like, you want to go out to dinner? Now, drop a comment. Let me know. When you were going through your breakup with your SP, did they ask to take you to dinner after? No. Usually it's, let me take you to dinner. Then hit you with the breakup and be like, gotta go. Usually when there's a legit breakup or a planned breakup, usually it's I gotta go. Yes, I did say that, Megan. And so, you know what I'm saying? It's not you want to go break bread after? No, which tells me that this was never planned. This was never planned. But your momentary fucking negative thought pushes out. That's how fast it happens. That's how fast. So pay attention to the meaning that you're assigning to things. Okay, what meaning are you assigning to things? You need to assign the meaning you want to things, not the meaning that you're assuming it has. Okay, we have to learn from others. No, Bella, you should not focus on self-concept when manifesting your SP back. Well, let me take a back step. You should not only you do not need to only focus on self-concept when manifesting your SP back. Okay, what you need to do is focus on becoming that version of yourself. This is not a self-concept thing. This is a self-love thing, right? Because if you find the love back for yourself, okay, If you find that true love for yourself, like you're in love with yourself, then your self-concept improves, self-confidence improves, self-worth improves, right? All of that stuff matches the ultimate identity of I am loved. I am loved. Okay. So when you find the love for yourself, everything else automatically shifts to that. You need to focus on you and what you want with SP, but at the same time, you need to go back to that version of yourself that you were in the beginning of your relationship. That version of you, that's who you need to go back to. Because that's when they're going to notice you very differently. Your energy changes, right? You know that they feel your energy, right? It's like, hello. They feel your energy. So we do the cord cutting here every day, but you have to know that they feel your energy all the fucking time. So you can't do the cord cutting and then an hour later you're going back to desperate ass energy, to negative energy with SP. Because when it comes to your SP and your thoughts about SP or your feelings about SP, if you're channeling negative ass energy or desperate energy or lack energy, they're feeling that energy. We don't want that. We don't want that. So instead, you need to change that and have more positive energy. And you do that, I'm not talking high vibe. I'm saying positive intentions. Holding positive intentions instead of negative ones, and that shifts the energy. Is instead of coming from lack and desperation, why don't you come from peace and hopeful? Right? Because then they're feeling that energy instead, positive, more positive energy, not the negative shit. That's not going to benefit you. Okay? CC, not my CC. My SP suddenly ghosted me after having an improvement in communication. What happened? Your thoughts. Okay, so you had an improvement in communication, but most likely you were reading into the communication, or you had an improvement in communication, but old patterns you did not break. So let's say you guys were not talking very much. Now, all of a sudden, you started having an improvement in communication. Then, all of a sudden, either you thought some type of way or they didn't talk to you for 3 hours. Or they broke their pattern of improved communication and you reverted back to old version and said, because he's probably done this before. And so you were like, is he pulling away? Why hasn't he texted me back? Why? I thought we were having such great communication. What changed? What's happening? What's going on? And then here we are, ghosted. But all you have to do is focus on the fact that he is busy. Don't focus on you being ghosted, because being ghosted implies exactly that, ghosted. Okay? But if you were go back to the state you were in when you had improved communication, when you believed he wanted to be together with you, if you know he wants to talk to you, then the ghosting ends, the no contact ends. At 9 p.m., got a text, he found the trailer ball. Funny, I was sleeping. Of course, he's thinking about you, Flashy. He can't stop thinking about you, girlfriend. He cannot stop thinking about you. Oh, look at that. Where are the avocados? I look like Taylor Swift. You're my new bestie. Hey, Don. Is that a compliment? Is that a compliment? Just kidding. Sorry guys, when you guys ask me a question, I don't give a one-liner. Clearly. Clearly, I don't give a one-liner. So because I don't give a one-liner, sometimes the comments get, because every fucking thing is like, everything's a comment here. Anytime somebody joins the live, anytime, you know what I'm saying? All of that shit's a comment. You have to sift through them. Okay. Bella, I need you to stop what you're doing, okay? You need to stop what you're doing, okay? Seriously. Seriously. You're listening too much to what the fuck he's saying. He asked me to leave him alone. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. The only reason why he asked you to leave him alone is because you're not leaving him alone. Okay? Because because what you're doing is forcing the 3D. Texting him when it's unwarranted, texting him over and over again, trying to talk to him about your relationship, trying to beg and plead for him to take you back. Desperate energy. So because of that, he's like, please, for the love of Christ, leave me alone. Because you're forcing the 3D. You can't force the 3D. Go ahead, ask anybody on here what forcing the 3D does for them. It backfires 100% of the time. 100% of the time. So stop forcing the 3D. You don't need to verbalize anything. You don't verbalize, we internalize. Okay? So if it comes out here, it's a command. When it comes through here, it's their idea. It's their idea to want to be with you. It's their idea to want to talk to you. It's their idea to be obsessed with you. All of that stuff. Okay? All of that. Haley, if you could use only one affirmation to loop, what would it be? Well, what I would loop the one thing that you want the most. Well, that most people want the most. And that is, they'll do anything to be with me. They'll do anything to be in a relationship with me. They'll do anything to be in a relationship with me right now. That's the one thing I would loop the most. Why? Because that's what you want. So if you step into the assumption that they'll do anything to be in a relationship with you right now, well, that is whatever's going to happen for that to be true is going to happen, right? So that means they're going to contact you. They're going to want to spend time with you. They're going to want to be with you, right? It's going to unlock all the other ones too. How do we lock in after? Yeah, you could also do it. Bevy said too, everything is always working out in my favor. Or you could say it all worked out even better than I expected. How do we lock in after months? Well, Ivy, it should be more simple to lock in after months. Okay? It should be more simple to lock in after months because at some point in time, the emotional, at some point in time, you've processed your emotions about SP to where it's more of a neutral state now, right? Like, I don't think you're self-loathing, at least you should not be, crying every day a year or two later after your breakup. Like, no, typically you've processed those emotions. So you shouldn't have as much resistance because you've already processed everything. So now it's like, I'm just gonna be. I know I want what I want. And so I'm going to get what the fuck I want. I'm going to get what I deserve. So it should be easier for you to lock in because it's like enough time has gone by. I have been patient enough. Enough time has gone by. So I'm fucking done. I'm done. I'm not going to sit here and have more time go by. So I'm going to lock the fuck in. I'm going to lock in right now. Because I know that if I lock in and I commit, because again, how you do one thing is how you do most things in your life. So if you're lacking the ability to lock in when it comes to SP, you're also lacking the ability to lock in other areas of your life too. So if you say, that's it, I'm playing full out. I'm not wavering. I'm going to lock it in because if I know that if I actually lock it in, I will get movement very fast. So what's your pleasure? You want to take another 6 months or you want to go lock it in and within less than 72 hours have SP doing some of the things that you wanted to do? That's how I look at it. Enough time's gone by. Enough time has gone by. I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to do it again. You've invested too much. You've came too far, sister. Can I manifest a relationship healing from wounds from my perspective when he still thinks about wound? Meow. The only reason why they're thinking about the wound is because you are. So he has to. It's kind of like if you keep thinking about the cheating, then so is he. You have to let it go. You have to let it go. Okay? He's only thinking about the wound because you assume he is. That's the only reason. But if you'd assume the opposite, then he would stop bringing it up. He would stop mentioning it. See, that's what you guys have to realize is oftentimes you guys are looking for them. You guys are looking for them to, what's it called? Yeah, okay, so like you're in no contact, right? Then all of a sudden they break no contact. Uh, then it's like you're expecting them to bring up the last time you guys spoke, what they said. And then you're thrown off guard when they don't. And I said, of course, why would they not? I've heard that a couple times where they're like, I thought he would talk about this. And why would he? You selected a different version of him. So you don't need, why would he have talked about it? He didn't need to. He didn't need to. Okay. Just like, why would they talk about your breakup? You selected a different version of them. What breakup? They don't need to. They don't need to go there unless you decide that you want it to go there, you know? And so you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that at all. Okay. You decide everything. You guys decide 100% of the outcome. If you're not getting the movement, that is because you are not committed. You are wavering. You are wavering. You're saying your affirmation, then saying the opposite, saying the affirmation, saying the opposite. And all day long, you're going around thinking about where's it at, where's it at, where's it at. You need to stop doing that. Cool, Mom. I'm not going to create the assumption in you that it gets worse before it gets better. That's not true to everybody. That's not true to everybody. But you should only be disappointed in yourself. You shouldn't be disappointed in anybody else, because the only reason why you're not seeing something or not liking what you see is because of you. Because of you. Now, can it get worse before it gets better? Yes. Yes. Because you're not in control of the how. So if you see things getting worse, that doesn't mean, I'm not getting what I want. Things are digressing. That's not what that means. It just means you need to push forward. That's all that means. Sheila. Look, when you go on dates in a 5-star restaurant, you feel so little and ignorant no matter what. Look, I don't give a shit how much money I have. That's just not my jam. I'm still not going to eat escargot. I'm still not fucking with caviar. I don't care. I don't care. There's certain things that I'm still not going to eat just because it's fancy. I don't give a fuck. If it don't taste good, I am not above a good solid McDonald's meal. But you can also talk to him. You can also, Sheila, you can change anything you want about him. Okay? So you can choose, if you don't want to go to 5-star restaurants all the time, you could be like, he actually doesn't even really enjoy those. He enjoys just taking me to regular restaurants, regular everyday places. Okay, a lot of times they do that to impress. So like my very first date with my boyfriend, he took me to a rooftop, it's called Honey and Hive. He took me to a rooftop restaurant bar, basically. I don't think I would call it a restaurant. I wouldn't go out on a limb. It's more like a bar. And they gave us a menu. And we're looking at this menu. This is where, like, I guess corporate executives, this is where corporate executives go to happy hour, okay? And we're looking at this menu, and I'm just like, so when we were done, we had a couple cocktails, and I talked to fucking everybody. And so, like, I was in the bathroom talking to these ladies. Before I know it, they were, like, giving us desserts and shit. But when we were done, me and my boyfriend looked at each other, and we're like, you want to go to BJ's? Because he thought that that's what I liked, right? Because that was his perception of me, because I was, I guess, more successful, if you will. So that was his perception of me. And I was like, no, honey, I'm good. We can go to a Yard House all day. I fuck with a good Yard House happy hour. They have my favorite happy hour, actually. Whiplash. My SP and I text a lot. Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday. SP backs off. Gutter trash lives. Like it hurts. Okay, so Whiplash, you need to see your SP. You need to see yourself as your SP's priority. Okay, that's the first step. Is you need to see yourself as a priority to your SP. The second thing you also need to do is you need to also look at it like you're creating this pattern. Okay, because I know because he probably told you some shit like Monday through Friday, yeah, when people work, and then Saturday and Sunday he backs off because he's got gutter trash. No. What's that got to do with your relationship? What's that got to do with you talking? Okay. But you created that circumstance. So instead, it's like, no, we talked 7 days a week. In fact, we talk more on the weekend. Yeah. He talks to me every single day, not Monday through Friday, like a fucking job. Every single day he talks to you. I was in a relationship with a guy that I met in Vegas on New Year's Eve. He was a pit boss. And by the way, pit bosses are vastly underpaid. You make more money going and working at In-N-Out or McDonald's. But anyway, we met and we would talk all day long. Like I had a corporate job, but literally you wouldn't have thought so. I was literally I'd be working the entire day on the phone with him all day, every day. I'd come see him every weekend. I'd fly out there because it's a 45-minute flight. I'd come out there every weekend, get a hotel room. We'd spend, after he got off work, we'd hang out and everything else. I never questioned shit because we talked all the time. I had no idea he had a girlfriend the entire time because we talked all the time. The only reason why she found out about me was because she looked at their phone bill and was like, you were not talking to the homeboy 14 hours a day. Right? Who talks to their guy friend 14 hours a day every day? Things like that. So there's no reason why they can't still talk to you on the weekend. I had gutter trash. So it's like, but that didn't mean on Saturdays and Sundays we would not talk. That's not what that meant at all. We talked every day. It didn't matter, but that's because I didn't put that circumstance on it. But with that being said too, I also did, not knowing that I was doing this at the time, I did put the circumstance on when we hung out though, until I stopped doing that. So because I knew that Thursday through Sunday, we didn't hang out at night because gutter trash didn't work. Okay. And so I knew that those were the days I wouldn't see him. And because I knew that though, those were the days that I never saw him. But it wasn't until I was like, no, why can't we hang out on the weekend? Like, why can't we do any of that stuff? And then we started going on a date on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? So you can churn that around when you decide, no, we talk daily. Gutter trash has nothing to do with not a damn thing. Gutter trash is not control when we talk. We talk all the time. All the time. And you will. You're welcome, Sheila sister. Amanda, you manifested your dream job, but now that you're in the role, self-doubt is creeping in. For what? No, it doesn't even matter where you live. I was going to say, unless you live in a town of 10 people. Do you know how many people applied for that job? A shit ton. I used to do the hiring for a company. And I was floored at how many resumes of way overqualified people for that position would come through. would come through. I was just looking for like an admin assistant, someone to support me. They all had bachelor degrees, master degrees. I was like, God damn. So they had, first of all, they get hundreds and hundreds of resumes. Then they have to filter through those for all the qualified. Let's just walk through the process of a job. Then they had to filter through all of those to find the qualified people. And then they scheduled interviews, spent weeks interviewing people for that job. And out of all the people that applied, after all the people that they interviewed, you're the one that got the job. Why would you have self-doubt, bitch? You outbeat hundreds of people for your dream job. You earned that shit. So you don't need to have self-doubt. In fact, you need to walk into that company every single day and tell yourself, and if that comes in, if self-doubt comes in when it comes to your job, tell yourself, I'm the best employee they have. I'm literally the best employee they have. I'm the best employee they have. Because what's going to happen when you tell yourself you're the best employee that they have, if you want to take it a step further, you can say, and they're giving me a raise. But if you start creating the assumption that you're the best employee they have, what's going to happen is your self-doubt will start to go away. One, you'll feel better. But two, you'll start to notice that that whoever you report to start to compliment you, right? They start to point out things that you're doing really well. So therefore, the self-doubt kind of goes away, because if you believe that you are the best employee they have, well, usually that comes with a lot of kudos, right? Like a lot of compliments for you. So that's what I would hold on to, girl. That's what I would hold on to. Okay. Yeah, that's flashy. That's funny, because that's something that I was talking to Cece earlier today, who's back in contact with her SP. And what do you think she said? She said the same thing. She's like, yeah, I didn't have, she said, I did not have, well, thanks, whoever fucking wrote to my message. She said, okay, first of all, Danielle, now we're beefing, bitch. How the fuck are you just going to start following me? That's rude. She said she's logged into my lives and they are the shit. That's right. So, I was talking to Cece about it. And so, you know what? She said the same thing. She goes, you know what? Okay, well, apparently that's harassment. Whatever. And she said, I stopped talking. Like, he'll message me back, and the old her would message back right away. Right? And now she takes her time. She takes her time because she's in control. She takes her time. And then if he messages in the evening, she'll go to bed. She'll go to bed and then respond the next day. That's always my point. I don't know why you guys get so fucking panties in a bunch. Because at some point, someone, if you're in communication with your SP, at some point, someone is getting left undelivered or read. Every day, someone's getting left undelivered or read. No way around it. There's no way around it. Because the conversation has to stop. For the day. So why you guys get your panties up in a fucking bunch is ridiculous. Wait, what, Militia? So if I would want him to come over with texting myself, the acting like the other person I'm texting. Taylor, you cracked me up, girlfriend. Texting. I'm trying to find the rest of your message. Thanks, SRM. Okay, well, I'll have to get back to your message because I don't see it. And then I scroll through a bunch of people and then they get the panties in a bunch. What do I think about astrology, Asma? Well, I think astrology's fun. I like astrology. I think it's fun, but I certainly would never live my life off of it. Never. I would never live my life off of that. I would never live my life off of what they believe is my, what the fuck do they call it? You know, where it's like your sign connection. I don't know. I'm making this shit up. That's how you can tell I'm into it, right? Like, I'm not going to read a horoscope or my stuff and then walk around the day unless it's exactly what I want to happen. I'm not going to walk around the day living my life off of that. I'm also not going to live my life off of who my fire sign is supposed to be. Or like, well, what's your sign? Are you an Aquarius or a Libra? Because that's my match. No, I'm not going to do that shit either. Nor am I going to sit there and, I mean, I'll do it with myself all day. Like I'm a Libra. So I'll look at like what they say our personality traits are. I'll look at my personality traits, but I'm not going to sit there and ask my boyfriend, what is your birthday? Okay, so you're a Leo. Got it. Okay, so since you're a Leo, I'm going to go ahead and type you up and find out what the fuck your personality is. I'm not going to do that. Because then it's going to taint your opinion about that person. You're expecting that person to show up based on their sign. I'm not going to do that. That's fucking stupid. It's about as stupid as popping shit about your SP into chat GPT. You know, I find this extremely entertaining, to be quite frank. Because I never once in my life thought about typing anything into chat GPT. Maybe I should, just to find out what the fuck it says. But I've never once thought about doing that. Being like, let me take my current situation and pop that shit into chat GPT. What does chat GPT, my therapist, have to say about this? Or he sent me this text. Let me ask chat GPT what they think about this. Huh? I never once thought about doing that shit. But you guys, though, you guys think, I mean, you could definitely, I will give you guys credit. You guys should give you guys some credit. If you would spend this much time thinking outside the box when it comes to your SP, imagine the success you guys would have, you know, the skill set you guys would have. Like, you guys would never have to work for corporate America again because, man, you'd be highly successful if you spend just as much energy thinking outside the box when it comes to your SP and being an investigator when it comes to your SP to, you know, enhancing your life. Bernadette, if I prioritize myself and not look on my phone and wait for his text, he might feel ignored too. No, that's not the case at all. That's not the case at all. So if you're working on yourself and you're just working on you being a priority in your life, right? You being a bad bitch, and you're not looking at your phone. The only reason you're not looking at your phone is because if you look at your phone, you're doing exactly what the next part of your sentence says, right? And not look on my phone and wait for his text. No. That's why you don't look at your phone, because you're not waiting for his text. Okay, because waiting creates more waiting. So if you're waiting for his text, you're going to be waiting a long ass fucking time. Because you're waiting. You're waiting. Versus, if you're not checking your phone, you don't need to check your phone because you're expecting a text. There's nothing to check. You're expecting a text. So he might feel ignored too. No. First of all, let's dissect that last statement there. He's the one ignoring you, bitch. How the fuck is he going to feel ignored? No. That doesn't make any, you see what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. So he's not feeling ignored. Instead, what he's feeling is, not that you've moved on. That's not the right saying. There's an energy shift, okay? When you're sitting around waiting like you're at a fucking, where's it at? Where's it at? When's it gonna text me? Where's it at? That's desperate energy. That's lack energy. And that text isn't coming. Versus if you feel like, I'm going to go, do you sit around and wait for your mom to text you? No. Do you sit around and wait for anybody other than your SP to text you? No, you don't. You go about your day. And does a text come through? Yeah, it does. Because you're going about your day expecting a text. If you're expecting something, you're not checking for it. There's nothing to check, okay? Or if you know that you're getting something, okay? So that's why I always use the payday one. If you're expecting to, get paid, do you check? Are you waiting for the paycheck to hit the account? When you're getting paid, you're not checking the bank account and refreshing. You just know it's going to be there. So that's the same thing. You just stop waiting. Stop waiting. Sabriana, so you're not in control. Okay, so let me clear this up. You're not in control of the how. You don't need to be in control of the how. Let me say that. You don't need to be in control of the how or the when, but you also can control the how and the when. Okay, so if you insist on knowing how, then you can control the how and you can tell yourself how this is going to happen, how this is going to play out. Okay. But when you can manifest on a time crunch and control the when your manifestation happens. But for a lot of people, that adds unnecessary resistance. Okay. That adds another level of resistance because now you're so focused on, oh my God, I declared this date. And every second it gets closer to that date, the more you panic, the more you get paranoid, the more you get in your thought space about it. And so because of that, the resistance goes significantly up versus if you didn't do any of that shit. Okay. All right. So we're going to do I need to plug my ring light into, the wall like a normal human being. So we're going to do the energy cord cutting and the photo method now because I got to go to the bathroom too. Okay. All right. So what I need you guys to do is get your SP's photos out too. Sorry guys. This is like my battery is like draining. For dramatic effect. So get somewhere comfy and cozy. Okay, just get somewhere comfortable. You don't have to be sleeping. You don't have to be laying down. You could just sit your ass down. Okay. Now we're gonna do the cord cutting. This cord cutting is extremely powerful. I'll hold your questions too, so I don't get sidetracked. It is extremely powerful. Okay. Now, I will tell you, some people, we should try this if you want to try this one today, is one of my admins put in the chat here the other day when we did the cord cutting and she said, can I cut the cord with myself? And I said, absolutely, 1000%. So she cut the cord with herself. And she's been getting insane movement from her SP in the past 48 hours after doing that. Okay. So you have options. For the sake of this exercise, I will refer to SP. Okay. But if you want to cut the cord with yourself, you can do that by seeing yourself on that stage, like a self-reflection, if you will. Okay. So you can absolutely cut the cord with yourself. Okay, to clear your own energy, okay? Because this is always about you, okay? So this is designed to get your SP to think about you. Your SP will think about you in a very short amount of time, if not instantly when you cut the energetic connection with your SP. You are not cutting SP out of your life. You are cutting the stale energy when it comes to your SP, okay? But so that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Okay, you're cutting the still energy so that it's fresh energy. It's clean energy. So therefore, your SP, when he thinks about you, because he will, but when he thinks about you, he will now think about you in a different light. He will think about you differently. The energy will be different, okay, than before, because there's an energetic shift, and we're all connected by energy. We're all connected by energy, which is why I tell you that your SP feels your energy, okay? And oftentimes they'll tell you that. They'll tell you that. So we need to control our energetic state, okay? All right. So close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now I want you to imagine that you're sitting in a giant amphitheater. It's dark outside. Excuse me. There's no one in this theater but you. And in front of you, there's a stage. And on this giant stage, there's a stage light that goes from the top of the stage down to the center of the stage. I want you to focus your attention on that stage light right now. And as you start to look into the light, you start to realize that you're not alone. In fact, off in the distance, in the back of the stage, out of the light, you notice a dark, shadowy figure. So as you start to adjust your focus to the shadowy figure, you start to notice that that shadowy figure is your SP. And I want you to call your SP, say their name, call them into the light, into the center of the stage. Do it now. And as your SP begins to walk into the center of the stage and into the light, you start to notice their facial features, their physical features. You also notice a gold cord that runs from the middle of your third eye directly into their third eye. Now I want you to ask your SP these 2 questions, and I want you to hear them respond. If you can hear their voice, great. If you cannot, that's okay too. I want you to look at your SP and say, do you support me? Hear them tell you yes. Now ask your SP, do you love me? Also hear them tell you yes. Now I want you to look at your SP in their eyes, and I want you to say these 4 phrases. This time, you're not going to hear them respond, and that's okay. As you look at your SP in their eyes, I want you to say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Now I want you to reach up with your hands as if it's a pair of scissors, and I want you to cut the gold cord that runs from the center of your third eye. And as you cut that cord, and the cord begins to fall to the floor, I want you to reach up with your other hand and grab the roots of that gold cord, pull them out of your third eye, and just toss them aside. And as the cord continues to fall to the floor, your SP starts to float away like a big balloon. And they're getting farther and farther and smaller and smaller and farther and farther and smaller and smaller and farther and farther and smaller and smaller and farther until they just disappear. Now take a deep breath in and out and open your eyes. All right. Now, we're going to do the photo method. We've switched up the photo method slightly. And that's because I need you guys to not only remember who your SP is for you, but I need you to also remember who the fuck you are. So I want you to forget about the version of yourself that you are right now. And I also want you to forget about the version of your SP that is or is not showing up favorably right now. Now I want you to go back to the beginning of your relationship. And I want you to take just a moment and I want you to remember who you were. Who were you as a woman or as a man? What qualities did you possess? How was your confidence level? How was your self-worth? How was the love you had for yourself? How was your self-esteem? The version of you when you first met your SP was very confident in themselves, independent, loved themselves, wanted to be with SP but didn't need to be with SP, was totally fine and content with yourself. You thought highly of yourself. And that version of who you were when you first met your SP is the version of yourself that you must step into again. Because that version of who you were, your SP was attracted to. He was in love. He chased you. He pursued you. He wanted to talk to you all the time. He is constantly trying to get your attention. He thought about you all the time. He wanted to spend time with you. He wanted to be with you. That version of who you were is the version that won their heart, the one they fell in love with. Remember who you were at that time. And I want you to step into that version of yourself again. That is now who you are right now. The perfect girlfriend, the perfect boyfriend, the perfect husband, the perfect wife. That's who you are. No other version of you exists from this point forward. But the one that's magnetic, the one that's chased and pursued by the one that they love. Now that you know who you are and you've gone back to the version of you that your SP fell in love with, I want you to go back in a time in your relationship where everything between you and SP was perfect. I now want you to remember who your SP was for you. Who were they that made them your favorite person, your perfect person? The version of them, who were they that won your heart, that caused you to fall in love with them and see a future with them and want to be with them forever? Who were they for you? Remember that version of them right now. Because from this point forward, the only version of you that exists is the one that won their heart. And the only version of your SP that exists right now in your reality is the one that won your heart. You're both the perfect versions of yourself for each other. Again. The people who were inseparable, that is now who you both are. Hold on to these versions. Don't lose them. I don't care what they may be doing or not doing right now. None of that matters, because right now that all changes. Right now they have up until this point, they have been doing nothing but writing out text messages to you, trying to find the right words to say, the perfect words to say to you. And they've kept deleting it and deleting it and deleting it until they can get the right words to say to you, until the timing is perfect. And now, right now, they have the message on their phone. They're ready to send it to you right now. right now. They've been waiting to send it to you because you're all they have been thinking about. All they're waiting for is your permission to press send. And the only way you can give them the permission to press send is by persisting and seeing the version of your SP that's perfect for you, that contacted you all the time. That's not who they are for you. So you can sit back, relax, and expect them. And just know that they're going to press send. They're going to finally reach out to you. They've been wanting to for so long. And now you're going to give them permission to do so. If you are new here, you're going to put on your crown. If you are not new here, you're going to straighten your crown right now. Some of you need to straighten it real fast because here we get what we want and we get it when we want it. You get what you know and what you expect. So right now, you're going to know and expect the best from your SPs, just like you did before. And you're going to get them to do the things that you want them to do. They're waiting. When kings and queens give a command, do they check, question, wonder, doubt if their command will be fulfilled? No. When they give a command, they know. They just know. And they expect for it to be done for whoever they commanded it to, because they're the queen, they're the king, and what they say goes. There's nothing to check. There's nothing to question. There's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to doubt, because you're in control. You are the king and the queen of your reality. So now you're going to start acting like it so you can get what you deserve and get it now. So if you're in no contact with your SP, or you're in contact, but it is not consistent contact, you're going to look at your SP's photo and you're going to tell them to contact you. You can say you're calling me, you're texting me, or you're contacting me. It doesn't matter. However they would naturally do it is how they will reach out to you. So you're going to look at their photo and say, you're texting me right now. You're texting me right now. You're texting me right now. If you're alone, say it out loud with a little bit of a backbone. If you're not, say it in your mind. You're texting me right now. You're texting me right now. Okay, I do pause the live so I can go to the ladies' room while you guys do this, okay? Now, if you are in consistent contact with your SP, you can tell them they're contacting you right now, or you can tell them they're coming to see you today. You're coming to see me today. You're coming to see me today. You're coming to see me today. Now, if you're in any of the ships, friendship, situationship, relationship, any of the ships, you can tell them to contact you right now. You can tell them they're coming to see you today, or you can have fun with it. You can tell them they're rubbing your feet tonight. They're giving you sexy time tonight. They're going to give you a massage later. They're going to freaking cook you dinner, buy you flowers, whatever you want. Have fun with it. Okay, have fun with it. This is supposed to be fun. I intend that many of you right now are going to get contact from their SPs. It's long overdue, because now you're seeing and expecting the best from them, just like you did before. All right? So wear your crowns proudly, give your commands, tell them what to do, and expect them to contact you. And we're back. All right. I know I did not plug my shit in, but that's okay. That's all right. That's all right. We'll make it work and make it twerk, baby. Okay. So, you're welcome, Auntie. Okay, Savage. How do you get rid of the anxious feeling? Okay. So, anxious feelings come from fear of the unknown. That's all it is, fear of the unknown. So, if you have anxious feelings, let me back up. So, if you're describing your feelings as being anxious feelings, that is coming from fear of the unknown. Okay. However, you don't have to describe your feelings that way. Remember, nothing has meaning unless you give it a meaning. Okay. So, we have the obvious negative emotions, which is anger, sadness, hurt, fear, and guilt. Okay. And they go in that order. But it's the other feelings that we get within inside ourselves that we like to put labels on. And so instead, the feeling of anxious is also excitement. It's the same feeling inside of you. Okay. It's the same exact feeling. So when you change the meaning of anxious feelings to, this is excitement. I'm so excited because he's texting me right now. I'm so excited to hear from my SP, right? That's different than saying I'm anxious, which means I don't know, and the only reason I'm feeling anxious is because I don't know if he's going to text me or not. I don't know if he's going to contact me or not. You know what I'm saying? So change that meaning, okay? Change that meaning. Don't give it the meaning that you don't want it to have, okay? Instead, you want it to have the meaning that you want to give it a good meaning instead of anything else, because that's not serving you a purpose at all. And no, bro, you didn't do it wrong because you didn't feel emotion. Because you didn't feel emotional. I'm not going to say you're not supposed to, because that's not true. It's not true either way. There's no right or wrong feeling to have while you do it. You cut the cord. I didn't get emotional when I was cutting energy cords, like at all. You should cut the cords with people in your life too, right? Like when you cut the cord with your daughter, you're not going to get all emotional about it because you're doing this to keep the energy clean and fresh between you and the people in your lives. So that's not necessarily supposed to trigger a negative emotion. The only reason why people get emotional is because they miss their SPs, right? And hearing your SPs say, yes, they support you. Yes, they're in love with you. And then saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you to their SPs sometimes is an emotional thing. Now, you guys can look at your photos of your SPs as well. And you can tell your SP the exact same thing that you said during the cord cutting. You can literally tell your SP, I'm sorry, to their photo. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. Okay? That's what you can do. You can also look at your SP's photo and tell them, we're getting back together right now. We're getting back together right now. We're getting back together right now. You can also say your affirmations to your SP. You're fucking obsessed with me. Like I'm literally all you think about. You're always calling and texting me. You're constantly spending time with me. You'll do anything to be with me right now. You can just tell them they'll do anything to be with you right now. You could just tell them that they're obsessed with you. There's no right or wrong way to transfer thoughts, okay? To transfer thoughts at all. You can have a conversation with your SP. You can literally have a conversation with your SP because think about it, your inner conversations are what push out too. So if your inner conversations are pushing out, then why not control your inner conversations, okay? And have inner conversations of things that you want from your SP, things that you like fantasize about it a little bit, right? Where it's like, I'm so excited because I know I'm going to see him this weekend. Like I know he's going to come. I know we're going to hang out this weekend because like, why wouldn't we? I know he's missing me right now. And so he's like dying to talk to me. He talks to me all the fucking time. Or hear a conversation that you want him to say to you. If you'd hear their voice, hear them tell you the things that you want them to tell you. Because that's them, okay? There's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. It's only what you tell yourself. So you should be giving only meanings that you want it to mean, not the meanings that you're currently assigning it, which is, shit meanings. It's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay. If you're just tuning in, I teach you how to leverage the law of assumption to work in your favor. We don't follow the law, we leverage. It's all about leveraging to make it work for you, not against you. Okay. And then, to make it work quicker for you, should I say. And then also, if you're interested in having me manifest your SP for you, or you want one-on-one coaching with me, then all links are in my bio. I also have text coaching, guided meditations, hypnosis audios, whatever it is that you want to try and help you get the shit into your subconscious mind, because that is what's pushing out. It's those things. It's your expectations. It's your assumptions. So if you're assuming that he's ghosting you, doesn't want to talk to you, wants nothing to do with you, he's mad at you, all of that is exactly what's keeping that true in your reality. It's holding it in place because your assumptions are manifesting. And so all the time. So when you're robotically affirming, when you're doing things like that, when you're trying to tell yourself something different, you're doing it on repetition, because everything that we know is based on repetition, right? You don't know how to talk because you just started talking. Okay. No, you repeatedly tried to talk. Same with writing, typing, walking, cooking, anything that you know how to do is based on repetition. So when we robotically affirm the same thing over and over again, which is why you don't keep changing your fucking affirmations. Okay. So because we want to get that shit in there. So you're creating repetition to override the assumptions that you have right now that are the opposite, right? To create a new neural pathway. Because if you're wavering every fucking chance you get, because remember, these are already assumptions, okay? The things that you're telling yourself all the time after your breakup or leading up to your breakup is already an assumption. So if you're doing your robotic affirming, but you're wavering every second that you get, then what do you think's going to win? What you're working to create an assumption of, or one that's already an assumption? This one's going to win every time because it's already an assumption of yours. So that's where you have to flip those. Anytime that old story comes up, anytime that old fucking thought comes up, you need to flip it because it's already an assumption. So it keeps it right there. This is why you guys aren't seeing what you want to see, because you guys are acting like you guys are acting like you're fucking fortune tellers and can see in their walls and can hear their conversations they're having with people and all of that stuff. And that's just not true. So instead of thinking to yourself throughout the day that he misses me every second of the day and that he's obsessed with me and that he'll do anything to be with me and that he absolutely is miserable without me, and he only finds peace when we're together, and he's only happy when we're together. Instead of thinking thoughts like that, you're choosing to think thoughts of, where's it at? He hasn't contacted me. He's still not talking to me. He's still upset with me. Either way, you're thinking something. So why would you, if you want your reality to change, if you want your 3D to change, then what do you think you have to do? If you know what created your 3D reality, then what do you think you have to change in order to change your reality? Your fucking thoughts. And if you won't change your thoughts consistently, that's why your reality isn't changing. Your job, I tell you guys over and over again, your SP has one thing, your SP and your 3D your SP and your 3D have one job only, and that is to confirm. That's it, to confirm. Okay, your subconscious mind has one job only, and that is to take you at your word and prove you right. That's it. That's it. So if we know this, then what are you telling your subconscious mind all day long that you want it to prove you right about? What do you want to be proven right about? The fact that he wants nothing to do with you, that you're not talking to him, that he's ghosted you, blocked you. that you're in no contact? Is that what you'd rather think about? How much he doesn't want to be with you? Because if your subconscious mind takes you at your word and has one job, and that is to prove you right, you're wanting it to prove you right about something different, but you're not willing to do anything different to be proven right about. That doesn't make any sense. If your SP and your 3D has only one job only, and that is to confirm, then what are you upset about? What are you mad about your 3D reality? What are you mad about your 3D for? What are you mad about your SP for? Their only job is to confirm. So if it's not showing what you want, if they're not confirming what you want, it is because you are not doing what you need to do. Because they're always confirming. Your 3D is, you don't need to check for shit. Your 3D is constantly confirming. You'll never have to check because you will get confirmation automatically. So your 3D is constantly confirming. Your SP is constantly confirming too, all the time. So if they're not doing what you want, that's on you. It's nothing but feedback for you to say, I've been doing this shit and I'm getting no movement. I'm not saying my SP confirming a damn thing. I'm not saying my SP or 3D confirm what I want. It continues to confirm what I don't want. So that must mean, logically speaking, that I obviously am thinking against what I want, which is why I'm not seeing what I want. That's like fucking taking a shower, turning it all the way on cold, and then somehow expecting the shit to turn to hot. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen until you adjust the temperature, until you change it. That's how things change. That's how it works. So that's where you leverage and be petty with it. You leverage and say, okay, well, I'm done fucking playing games with myself, because you're not playing games with anybody but yourself. Okay. And you say, I'm done playing games with myself. So, we're not going to, do this anymore. I'm going to lock the hell in. And I'm not going to do any of that shit anymore. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to lock in. I'm only going to focus on what I want. I'm going to fix my thoughts and train my thoughts like it's a fucking puppy dog. I'm going to train my thoughts to focus on what I want. So therefore, it has to push out. It must push out. Just like when I randomly thought against my relationship, we broke up. It's no different. It's no different. Like, oh, just like when I had a negative thought, it manifested. It's no fucking different. It's not like, oh, well, here's how you manifest the negative shit quick. And then like the positive stuff though, no, there's a huge delay for that shit. No, it's not like, oh, if you want to manifest negative stuff, then here's what you do. And if you want to manifest positive things into your reality, oh, no. That's a much more complicated process. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. Over and over and over again. So stop doing that to yourself. Stop doing that. Dream woman, do I believe in psychics? No. No, I do not. I believe that everybody is their own psychic. Okay? That's what I believe. There is no one born with an innate ability why the rest of society is just fucked. Like, you know what? In the womb, you were giving off real good energy, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to give you psychic abilities. But you, on the other hand, your genetics are a little flawed, so no, you don't get that. No. No. That's not how this works, okay? Now, with that said, do I believe in intuitive people? Yes. But the only reason why I believe that people are more intuitive than others is only because they've learned how to tap into that. That's it. Everyone has the exact same ability. Everyone has the exact same unique abilities. The only difference is one group of people have learned how to tap into that, have learned how to tap into their power, while the other people just let life continue to happen to them and be victims of their own reality and not take control of it. Versus other people are like, no, 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 no. Hold on a second. Let me turn my brain on and let me take a look at what things really are for what they are. And then, oh, I have the power to change this. So they've harnessed that power. So therefore, it looks like they have abilities. It's just intuitive. It's just intuitive abilities that everybody has. One group taps into it, the other ones don't. The other ones just go around and let life happen to them. But with that said, at the same time, the people who are spiritually asleep, we'll call them, right? Spiritually asleep, walking around life, just letting life happen to them. Those same people also have gut instincts, intuition, and they're well aware of it too. They're just not aware of where it's coming from or how to control it. There's a big difference. Okay. So, no, I don't think you should hire a psychic, because either way, because if you choose to believe what the psychic tells you, unless it's positive, but that's not the way society works, because you go to a psychic for a reason. Okay. Like, let's be frank. And they're not fucking stupid either. Okay. Like who's rich and hires a psychic to find out about their money situation? They don't. They don't, right? Like, who's in a great relationship that's on fire and then hires a psychic to know the status of their relationship? They don't, right? It's kind of like therapists. You don't hire a therapist because your entire life is fucking amazing. You know, like, you don't do that. Okay. And so because of that, they know that initially coming in. So they do their thing. They tap into their intuition, read your energy, because that's what they're doing. They're reading your energy. And then they tell you what you don't want to hear. And then you take them at their word for it. And then it manifests. But it wasn't the psychic that was right. It was your belief in what they said that was right. It was your assumption that they were right. That's what manifested. It wasn't the psychic and what she fucking said. But also, if we know that they're reading your energy, like I said, there's only one reason you're going to psychics, tarot card readers, spiritual advisors, right? There's only one reason you're going to that, because you have a problem that you want resolved, right? You want clarity on the problem you're having. So if they're reading your energy, what kind of energy do you think you're putting out there? Let's be frank. Let's be honest. You're not going to a tarot card reader because your relationship is amazing and putting off amazing energy. No, you're going there wanting answers out of desperation, out of vulnerability. And that's the energy you're putting off. Lack, desperate, vulnerable. Not good energy. So that's what they're tapping into. So what makes you think, if you're going there because of that, what makes you think you're going to have an amazing reading all the time? If that's their job, is to read your energy. That's why oftentimes when people go to them, they get the reading they didn't want. That's why. Because their energy, their pheromones, were not what they wanted in a negative space. Mandy, what about an SP that doesn't know you and you want them? Doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. Yara, yes, I can. That doesn't, hey, Jojo, that doesn't matter at all. If you want I lost my train of thought. Oh, if you're wanting to manifest somebody that doesn't know you, that doesn't matter. I have a client now that's doing that. And she's actually been seeing quite a bit of movement in a very short amount of time. Okay. But that doesn't matter. Because somehow they're going to notice you. Somehow they're going to, whether you come across their For You page, whether they are scrolling through their Instagram and you're a suggested friend, or you comment on one of their posts or their stories and they happen to notice your comment over anybody else's, somewhere you're going to get their attention. And you will stand out above the other people. Yeah, Nina, because you wouldn't have... Okay, Joe, check it out. You wouldn't have to... Nina, you wouldn't... Even if you go weeks without seeing anything, you have to remember that there, like I was saying in the beginning, let me say this again. Like I said in the beginning, there is a process leading up to contact. There's a process leading up to contact. Okay? They don't wake up and then be like, Nina, I'm going to contact her. That's often not how it works. What leads up to that is they start to think about you often, right? They start to think about you and think about you and think about you throughout the days, throughout the weeks, possibly even longer, that they've thought about you often. And so because they've thought about you often, now they want to contact you. But you guys should also go back, and I've told you guys this too, so Nina, before I move on, that is you not necessarily seeing something, right? You're not seeing the movement, but it doesn't mean that there's not movement going on behind the scenes that you can't see. Like you can't see into their mind. You can do thought transmission, of course, which is what you're doing. So they are thinking about you often. Okay. But you guys should go back into your little mind palace real quick. And I'm not saying go down and harp over conversations, but you should go back to the breakup. And no, don't get all fucking emotional and shit like it happened yesterday. Okay. We're doing this for research purposes because we're going to leverage the law. So I want you to go back to what they said during the breakup. What did they tell you? So a lot of people are told this. I just need to figure out my life, right? I need to figure out my life. Something like that. So then let's say that's what they told you. I just need to figure out my life. Great. So this is where you leverage. In your description of your SP or in your inner conversations, what do you think you're going to talk about? How they have totally figured out their life. They literally have completely figured out exactly what they want in their life. And they realize now how much they can't do life without me and like how they want me to be a part of everything in their life, right? Because they told you that they need to figure out what's going on in their life. So help them out. They figured it out. Yeah, you've now figured it out. He has now completely figured out his life and he sees and he wants to he can only see a future with me, right? And he wants me to go through everything in his life with me. He's got it all planned out. He's got his entire life all planned out. That's leverage because he told you that out of his fucking mouth and you guys like to listen to what the fuck they say. So instead, you guys, if you're going to listen to what the hell they tell you, what you need to do is find the leverage in that. And so instead of saying, they said this, they said that, they said this, it's like, okay, they said they don't want to talk to me right now. Sick. All right, cool. Well, you know what? Absolutely not. They actually can't go another day without talking to me. Well, they said that I deserve better. They're not good enough for me. Oh no, they have had a come to Jesus moment. They have literally gotten so much clarity recently that they absolutely know that they're perfect for me. Like they're completely perfect for me and they know it. Like now they know that they're good enough for me. They're everything I've wanted and more. You're taking what the fuck they told you and flipping it. And now that you're in a conversations, instead of the other, thanks Adele, instead of your current inner conversations are what they actually said out of their mouth. But Leverage that because it came out of their mouth and it's bothering you and it's affecting you. So instead, flip it. And that is now the inner conversations. No, they know exactly what they want in their future. And that's me. And that's absolutely me. They know exactly what they want in their future, and all they can see is a future with me. That's literally all they can see is a future with me in it. Because that's the opposite of what the fuck they told you. Well, they told me they just need time to figure out what it is that they want. Oh, well, now they figured it all out. They have completely figured it all out. Well, they just need to work on their mental health. They have the best mental health now ever. They have taken the time to fix their mental health and like they're thriving now and their mental health is in tip top fucking shape. Well, I just don't have time to commit to a relationship right now because I'm just so busy with work. No, actually, he's really, really learned how to balance his work and personal life. So he has so much time for us to spend together now because he's learned so much how to balance the two. Because these are things they're fucking telling you. So if you're going to listen to them, then you may as well use it to your advantage instead of harping on what the fuck they said and replaying that shit over and over again. And because that's not serving you. We have to look at, well, what's going to benefit you and what's not. Harping on what they said out of their mouth, that isn't what you wanted, isn't going to benefit you at all, right? It keeps it in place. But if you would take what they said and flip it and have your inner conversations be that way, then guess what? You understand that that's actually the most selfless thing you could possibly do. Literally. It's the most selfless thing you could possibly do. Because you're helping them. You're helping them. You know what you want. And now you're helping them figure out what they want with you, of course. Because like, if you love this person, wouldn't you want to make their life better too? Wouldn't you want to make their life better too? Especially if it's affecting your relationship. Especially if it's affecting your life, it's affecting your relationship, then why not leverage that and make it work for you instead of against you? Because right now, if you keep replaying what they told you over and over and over again, you're not going to see a change until you change the outcome. Until you decide that they figured it out. You have to decide that they've figured this out already. Because until you decide they've figured the shit out, you could wait for a very long time. Do you know how old people get before they even know what the fuck they want in their life? It's a little sad. It is a little sad on how people can literally live their entire life and not know what they want. Not know where their future's headed. Not know what they want in their life. They can live there because they're just going through the motions of life. So why don't you help them figure that shit out? Because if you don't help them figure it out, then someone else is. And that isn't what you want, is it? I don't fucking think so. I don't think so. So this is where you're going to leverage. So I want you to go back in your mind palace. This is not designed to get you all sad and depressed mode, okay? This is designed to help you, to really help you and say, okay, I'm going to fix this. So I'm going to recall what they said during the breakup. And then I'm going to find the opposite. And that's my inner conversations now. Okay? I hope that fucking helped. Yeah, Nina, it is messed up. Their prices are freaking out of control, but they'll tell you the same thing. Well, it's supply and demand. Yeah, Lisa with Butterfly, you have the fact to change it super quick. Okay, and Nina, I don't know why you're over here bitching about fucking movement when you literally had gutter trash exit said scene. Okay? I gotta figure out how to mute fucking notifications. What about their job? It's manifest. Okay, well, let's have a little bit of fun with this. Okay? So, if you're going back in your mind palace, thanks, Adele. If you're going back in your mind palace, why don't we have a little fun with this? Why don't you drop a comment and let me know what they told you on why they're breaking up with you? Why they don't want to be in the relationship right now. Why don't you drop a comment? I don't need the whole fucking narrative, but you can say like one thing to give you a head start. What is one thing that they said and flip it, right? Like, I just don't want a relationship right now. Well, they've actually came to realize that they want a relationship with me right now. Like, they've realized that I'm the best person for them, that they won't be happy without me, and they absolutely are ready now to be in a relationship with me. So, Sky, if you're together and they're still talking to gutter trash, I know the feeling. Ow. I know the feeling, but banish gutter trash to the dumpster. And then when gutter trash is gone, you will get confirmation. You won't have to seek it. When gutter trash is gone, continue to affirm against gutter trash till you no longer think about gutter trash anymore. Okay? Or it's just normal. Yes, Adele. If you had a thought that said, like, Adele, let me go, it's only your thought. It's not his thought, right? And even if it is his thought, let's look at it from both categories. Like, even if you got a thought like that, you have to know that if that's feedback, why would he be saying that? Okay. The reason why he would be saying that in his thoughts is because you think he's holding on to old story. You're holding on to old story. Right? Because if you're constantly thinking about the old story, guess what thoughts you're constantly pushing to them? Old story, old story, old story. You know, and we don't want to do that. So that would be why, if he was thinking that way, that would be why, because you're thinking about old story, or you're thinking about him not wanting to be with you. You're thinking about things like that. And so because of that, you would get a random thought like that. But I certainly would not read into it at all. I wouldn't read into it. Instead, I'd be like, why don't you hear the opposite? Hear your SP, have a random thought, and hear your SP saying, Adele, I want you back. I want to be with you right now. I would hear, if you guys can hear people, like, if you can hear your SP, yeah, Russa, if you want to push your message up, I will do that. If you want to, you see, like, you should be finding all kinds of ways to leverage, okay? Because we know that inner conversations push out. But you also should know that it's not your inner conversations that push out. Okay, it's not only yours. So what I mean by that is you say, okay, if inner conversations push out, then let me control my inner conversations first and foremost. But if I'm an auditory person or I can hear my SP's name, perfect, got it. Then Ressa, could you put Ressa in that too? Just so I can put you, because I like to put your actual name and then your TikTok name next to it. But then you say, okay, if I can hear my SP's voice, then why can't I hear my SP telling me what I fucking want to hear? Like your SP telling you, oh, I just love you so much. Like, you know, I miss you. I think about you all the time. Like, I want to get back together. Why can't you hear that too? Because if you hear that, and it's not a whole thing, it can literally be like, you know, you can do the telephone technique where you hear somebody that you talk to often, where you can hear their voice. Okay. So you can do the telephone technique where you hear it could be a couple things. It could be you hear like your bestie or your mom's voice and you're like, oh my God, girl, we totally just got back together. You know, me and my SP totally just got back together. And you hear your bestie being like, I'm so happy for you. You know, or you can also hear you and your SP having a telephone, and then you would loop it. You would loop that, by the way, because it's very quick. Okay. Then you could also hear you and your SP talking to each other in a very short thing. It could literally be like, I'm so in love with you. Honey, I'm so in love with you. I'm so in love with you. We have the best relationship. You're like, we do have the best relationship, honey. Over and over and over again. Those are inner conversations. Those are phone conversations that you're having. It's called the telephone technique. Okay, but you can hear somebody you're close to, or it could even be a telephone a whole conversation that you're having with SP. Not a whole, like a one sentence phrase, and he says the same thing over and over and over again. Just like if you're a visual person, you can visualize a 5-second scene that's implying you and SP are together. Okay, so whether that's SP showing up at your house with flowers, or maybe you and SP doing something that you can visualize. So maybe it's something that like you see him cooking dinner in your kitchen. You see you and SP sitting on the couch together, watching a movie, any of that stuff, 5-second scene over and over and over again. That implies that you have what you want. Okay, because these type of things. And so let me clarify, because I say feelings do not matter when it comes to consciously creating. Okay. However, if you want to get things into your subconscious mind quickly, because remember, when you're consciously creating, it's those inner conversations that we're having. It's the words coming out of your mouth and the thoughts that you're having. So we're trying to say something else to get it in there, because we're not trying to say something else to get into the conscious mind. We're trying to say something else to get it into the subconscious mind. Okay. But if we know that the subconscious mind operates off of pictures, sounds, and feelings, then how do you leverage that? Okay. Pictures is the 5-second scene that you're imagining. That's a picture. Sound, a conversation, the telephone technique, it's a sound. You're hearing you and SP saying something to each other like, I love you, you know, or we're so perfect together. Yes, we are. You know, then feelings. If you put yourself in the feel good vibe of like, this is real during those sessions, during your visualization or your auditory sessions, if you were to put yourself in the state, because feelings, I'm not talking about feeling it to be real, but putting yourself in the state of having what you want, because your feelings shift. Okay. But if you could do that, then it doesn't require endless repetition. It goes here in the subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind operates off pictures, sounds, and feelings predominantly. Okay, so that's where when you have inner conversations, it creates a picture in your subconscious mind. Okay. When you're thinking about certain things, it creates pictures within your subconscious mind. You're not actually getting a vision. Okay. But your subconscious mind has to create the picture or the sound or the feeling. So when you have negative, like negative thoughts, right? And when you're spiraling in your thoughts, why do you think it creates the negative feeling? Because thoughts create feelings. Even if you're not aware of it, your thoughts will create a feeling. So that goes into your subconscious mind. So that's where you leverage set opposite. I'm conflicted on what I want to drink. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot I told you guys to do that. Oops. Yes. The last thing you should ever do is call your boyfriend an avoidant. Definitely don't call it avoidant. I've never even described anyone in my life as being an avoidant. I didn't even know that was a fucking word. Maybe I need to go back to literacy school. Just kidding. I'm not going to do any of that shit. How can you convince him that I changed and I am the only one that makes him happy? I strongly believe it. When you believe it and know it, when you believe it, Auntie, then you don't need to convince him. Okay? You don't need to convince him because when you get back in contact with your SP, if you really have changed, he would see it. They would see it automatically. Okay? You're not going to be reacting the way you were before. He's going to see the change. You're not argumentative like you were before. He'll see the change, right? You won't need to convince him of shit. Convince yourself and he'll know. He will know. And you're the only one that makes him happy. Tell him that. Not verbally to his face, but tell him to his picture. Like, I'm the only one that makes you happy. Okay? Or visualize him in your mind and tell him that. I'm the only one that makes you happy. Son, should you expect to see movement every day? No, I wouldn't say yes to that. No. Unless you're in like constant contact, then yeah, you should be seeing movement every day. Like if you're in contact, then yeah, you should be seeing movement every day. But if you're not, then no. Okay. I forgot I gave you guys a task. Here I am fucking rambling. Okay. I don't feel it. Yet I love hanging out with you. Okay. Yeah, great. I don't feel it yet. I love hanging out with you. So instead, it's like every time, like he loves hanging out with me so much. And every time he hangs out with me, his feelings for me grow. Like he's completely sorted out his feelings for me and realizes now how much he is absolutely in love with me and wants to spend the rest of his life with me. Lisa, that's what I would do. Flip that around. Angela, you need to be divorced first. Okay. You need to be divorced first. So, well, you could have fun with this, actually. Because you're holding on to the divorce aspect. So you could say you're, you could honestly look at his photo and be like, I'm divorced already. I'm already divorced. I'm literally already divorced. But I'm divorced already, right? So you need to be divorced first that's a tricky one, but I love a challenge. Okay, so how would you turn that around? Yeah, like I would keep we've talked about this. I would keep the same thing that we had said, something like he does not even care. He doesn't he want his desire to be with me far outweighs my marital status. He doesn't even care about that because he wants to be with me more than anything in this world. Like nothing is going to nothing's going to keep us he knows now that nothing is going to keep us apart. Why did my fear of gutter trash manifest instead of my dominant thoughts of us back together for 3 months? Um, because I don't think you had dominant thoughts of you back together for 3 months. Or you would be together. Even if gutter trash was still there, you would still have movement for you and SP to be together if those were your dominant thoughts. But for your fear of gutter trash to manifest, because oftentimes it's not something you're thinking about all the time. It's not something you're thinking about all the time. Or for now, you may be thinking about gutter trash often because gutter trash is here. But when you have a fear of gutter trash, you're not necessarily walking around town all day long thinking about that shit. So because of that, that manifested. That's how it was for me. I didn't think about it all the time at all. But I had momentary thoughts every once in a while, and therefore it pushed out. But if your most dominant thoughts are you getting back together with your SP or you guys being together, then it wouldn't matter. You would be seeing movement to gutter trash going away. But that's where you leverage and say, okay, well, here we are. We've got gutter trash. So I'm going to manifest gutter trash away while I'm also manifesting me and SP, because this is why I tell you guys you guys understand you just have to distract your thoughts. It doesn't have to be SP related 100% of the time. It does not have to be. You have your most dominant desire, which is SP. But why not have fun manifesting a gang of shit? Why not have fun manifesting money, weight loss, bigger ass, bigger tits, any of that stuff? Why not have fun doing that? Yeah, so Danielle, he said that he wasn't ready. And so it's like, yeah, he's learned now. He's learned now that he knows now that he's absolutely ready to be in a committed relationship with me. He knows that more than anything now. Oh, Shanna, I am focusing on my kids and business and it's never going to happen and I don't want to lead you on. Okay. So, first you're going to tell yourself that you are his priority. Okay. But be like, yeah, he's focused on he's found the balance. One of the examples I was mentioning, he's found the balance between his personal life, his business and me. And he has plenty of time to spend with me. It's, he knows now how perfect we are together and he'll do anything. He's made plenty of time in his schedule to spend time with me together. And he's never too busy. Now he's never too busy for us to spend time together. He's completely balanced his work and personal life and wants nothing more than for me to be a part of it. Basically, I just don't have time to fully invest in you, and that's not fair to you. Yeah. Okay, so Shanzi, you missed where I said, what did your SP say when they were breaking up with you? Because I'm going to help you leverage what they said out of their own fucking mouth and change that for you. Okay, so busy schedule. I know I just don't have time to fully invest in you, and that's not fair to you. Okay. So yeah, exactly same thing I gave the example of earlier. It's manifest. It's like he actually has nothing but time for me now. He's balancing his busy schedule with his so that he's found the balance between his busy schedule so that we can spend time together because he's now realizing how fully invested in our future he is. Hey, AJ sister. So yesterday SP was looking for me the whole day and we were OTP on the phone. Got it. On the phone. And get her yeah, hey label. And get her trash is okay. Yeah, so Sky, you should be saying one out of two things. You should be saying either they don't even talk anymore or she's gone away. They don't talk anymore, she's gone away. They don't talk anymore, she's gone away. They do not talk anymore, she's gone away. Or just say she's gone away. How do you manifest getting a Haley? How do you manifest getting a job in less than a month? So you should manifest getting a job now, okay? But it depends. You can say, I've asked this several times. Somebody took my advice and got 6 job offers. I think it was about that. Don't quote me. But anyway, you literally should just tell yourself, I get every job that I apply for. I get every job that I apply for. I literally get every job that I apply for. Everyone hires me. Everyone hires me. I get every job that I apply for. Everyone hires me. Okay, Lisa. Okay, look, Lisa with a butterfly. Your ex-bestie wants to hang out after she tested it. Look at that. So now do that with your SP. Do that with your SP. Do that with your SP. You're not talking to me, are you, Angelo? Like, I hope you're not talking to me, Angelo, because bye. And if you're not talking about me and that's what your SP told you, then then tell yourself, like, no, he actually believes everything that I'm telling him. He believes everything that I tell him. I shouldn't even help you until you clarified if you're fucking talking about me first. Guys, he's in 2nd grade for daydreaming. But that is why I have a difficult time with visual revision. I have my SP's audio from when he spoke very sweet to me back in 2021. Good, Jackie. I would listen to that to put you in. You're welcome, Adele. I would listen to that to put you in the right frame of mind. What do you do when your mind wanders? Redirect back to the positive thoughts. Yeah, SS86. Well, it depends. If your mind's wandering to like the negative, then yes, redirect your thoughts back. But if it's not wandering to the negative, then you don't necessarily need to redirect your thoughts back. You could just like if your mind wanders, like if your mind wanders to like thinking about cats and dogs, that's totally fine. Let it wander, bitch. Amanda, when did your SP reach out to you? I don't know when. I didn't count the time. I wasn't concerned with the time. So I know that I wasted 7 months doing law of attraction bullshit. That I do know because I was all done with that shit. And so I can trace back the contact, but I can't tell you. It wasn't a long ass time. That I can guarantee and take to the fucking bank. It wasn't a long time, but I cannot tell you when, for the time I started affirming to the time he initially contacted me. I can't tell you, but it wasn't a long time. I'm maybe like, because I did the shirt thing and he did it. So I was like, oh shit, I'm locked in. So maybe it was less than a week for sure. But when, I don't know. I don't know. Why do some people only show up the way you want after you move on? Dream woman, the reason why some people, that's a good question. The reason why some people will show up the way you want after you've moved on is because you've dropped all resistance. You've dropped all resistance. This is why I tried telling everybody to stop fucking trying so hard. Stop trying so hard, because usually that's exactly what happens is you've moved on. And so you've completely dropped all the resistance. And so because you're like, oh, I just don't give a fuck anymore, which is why you've moved on. So because you just don't give a fuck anymore, boom, they start coming around. Because now because again, if you go off of the energy connection, when you move on, there's also a shift in your energy field. So therefore, they start to think about you. They start to do all those things and pursue you again because you have moved on. Now, no, I'm not saying everybody needs to move on. I'm literally just saying that y'all need to drop the fucking resistance. We are in an abusive, emotional marriage. Okay. So, Patriot vibes. We're in an abuse, emotional marriage. So she knows now that we've had the best marriage ever. That there has, she knows that everything I ever did in our marriage was because I absolutely loved her and had only her best interest at heart. That I only ever wanted what was best for our marriage, right? So we dropped down the abuse emotional marriage. Man, Lulu, good for you. Manifest that weight gain, girl. Most people want to manifest the opposite. How can he tell me I'm the important one for him, not gutter trash, and then date her within 2 weeks? Because, Nadine, you were the one that changed that. I had this entire story with somebody yesterday, and you're the one that changed that, okay? Because literally in an instant, they could tell you one thing and in a complete instant tell you the total opposite or show you the total opposite. That's literally what happens because in your mind, you created it. So you can uncreate it. You can uncreate it. This is why it's easy for us to manifest very quickly the shit we don't want because you only thought about it once. You really didn't think about it often. Like you didn't do any of that shit. So because of that, it pushed out where he tells you something one time and then all of a sudden tells you something different. But you're still blaming him, Nadine. You're still blaming him for everything. And you're not taking any accountability, which is why you're not seeing shit change, because you're still playing the blame game. He did this. He said that. He's doing this. He's not doing this. Change it. Change it. Would driving by their house time to time create resistance? Thanks, Jane. I'm sure you are absolutely beautiful too. Would driving by their house time to time create resistance? No, Shayna, it would. No, I'd be the last person to say that shit because I walked by his house every day. But it depends on your motive behind it. Okay? Like, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts leading up to you driving? What are your thoughts before getting in the car to drive by his home? And then what are your thoughts when you're driving by his home? What are your thoughts? That's what's creating resistance. It's not the fact that he drove by his home at all. But if you're like, I'm going to go drive by his home because I want to make sure that he's home and he's not like on a date with somebody else. Well, then that's now what your subconscious mind knows, that is why you're driving by his home. But if you just drove by his home, your subconscious mind doesn't know where you're going at all. Okay, so also, if you drive by his home and see his car in the driveway and someone else's car in the driveway, well, now if you're like, who the fuck is at his house? Is he cheating on, like, is he seeing somebody else? Is there gutter trash there? Well, that's now what you're pushing out. That's creating resistance, right? But if you just drove by his home and you're like, oh, good night, honey. That's not creating resistance. Okay? So that's what I would do if you're going to drive by his home. Just be like, good night, honey. And make sure you don't get caught, bitch. Make sure you don't get caught. That would be an uncomfortable conversation. Ness, found out SP is going to the lake for the weekend. What do I say? He's having the worst weekend of his life. Yeah. He's actually completely miserable at the lake. He's going to have the most miserable weekend ever. Ever. He regrets even going. It works well because you control their mood. You control what their time they're having. Yes, the coaching queen, that was you. But that's okay, because we're going to manifest the total opposite in an instant too. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. What the hell was that? All right, guys. I had a jet. I had to go to the bathroom. I had to stretch my legs. Why do two different men show up differently for you if you're the same person? Because, dream woman, everyone is you pushed out is not everyone is you pushed out. That's not what that means, because like you just said, if everyone in your reality was showing up based on you, then everyone would treat you the exact same. But what everyone is you pushed out means is everyone in your reality is showing up based on your assumptions of them, not someone else, but of them. So therefore, whatever you think about that person is how they show up in your life. Okay. Because the problem that happens is, this is why two people can know the exact same person, yet one person thinks they're a raging bitch and the other person's like, what are you fucking talking about? They're the nicest person in the world. That's why, because you should, Tashay. But that's why that's like that, because one person thinks they're nice, the other person thinks they're a raging bitch. So if you have a coworker that you think is just like an awful person, like the coworker's an awful person, if you have that, then it doesn't matter how much you want to buy her coffee, you want to do her work for her, you can be the nicest fucking person in the world to her. She's still going to be a bitch to you. Not to everybody else, but to you, right? This is why your SPs will show you, what the fuck is Lisa doing? This is why a lot of people will show you that, this is why a lot of your SPs are treated by, all of your SPs. This is why SPs are treated very differently. This is why they act and behave very differently to you than they do to their friends or their family. The reason they act very different to you than they do their friends is because their friends have nothing. That's why they're friends. They have nothing but great things to say about them. Lisa, I'm going to punch Lisa in the fucking face. But they have nothing but great things to say about him over and over and over again. So because of that, they show up that way because their friends think they're a rocking good time. They got a great description of them versus you do nothing but bitch and complain about your SP in their mind. And so they show up to you completely different. We don't want that. We don't want that. Okay, I don't know why Lisa's comments, I cannot see shit of them. So I'm going to reach out to her after this. I got to jet, guys, because I had a coaching call, but I got to reach out to Lisa too, because she's not about to fuck this up. No, she will not. Okay? All right, guys, if you're interested in having me manifest your SPs for you, or you want one-on-one coaching with me, text coaching, all the things, all links are in my bio. I go live every day at 10 o'clock Pacific time. If you ever miss a live, they're always uploaded on my YouTube channel. So go ahead while you're there, subscribe. Let them play. All right? Engage in them. All right, guys. I love each and every one of you, besties, and I will see you all later. Bye.